Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. So today I just wanted to share with you all my fitness journey. I just wanted to share where I'm at, where I started, and where I want to be. So yeah, let's start with senior year of high school. So for senior year and for high school in general, for the most part, I was always pretty active. But senior year especially, I was playing basketball, I was playing volleyball, I danced, I ran track for a little while. And so I always was moving my body, even though I had a pretty terrible diet because I was working at Whataburger at the time. And because I was working there almost every day, I was working there 5 days a week, and I ate there every single day that I was working. So yeah, even though I was not eating the best at all, I was pretty active, so it kind of evened itself out. And I was pretty happy with where I was body wise my senior year of high school. And yeah, here's like some pictures during my senior year, and I'll put the actual picture so y'all could see it more clearly. But I also wanted to add this picture because I wanted to show specifically that I never had a super lean build. Like I never had like six-pack abs or anything. Even though me and my sister wanted that, like we would follow like Julian Michaels ab crusher workout videos and stuff like that. But yeah, I never had a super lean build, but I was happy with my body in high school and stuff like that. So when I got to college, not too much changed during the summer between high school and college, but soon enough, while I was studying for biology with a concentration, with a pre-med concentration. Oh shoot, my battery's dying. Yeah, so once I got to college, not too much changed initially, but I started studying a lot. And I was spending a lot of my time at the library. I wanted all A's my entire college career, so yeah, that required a lot of time in the library. And I didn't eat all that bad, but I was snacking a lot and I was eating really frequently, just because they had like all you can eat buffets, and just you just always had food in front of you. At least that was my experience. And so I ended up gaining the freshman 15 really quickly. And it was about like 15-20 pounds that I gained. In high school, I was always around 165, but once I got to college, I weighed myself around the end, and I was like 185. But so yeah, I didn't eat all that bad, but I was hardly moving, and that was a problem. So that's about where I was. And so I just remember over the summer, I was like, something has to shake, like something needs to change. So I tried going vegan, I tried being a vegetarian, and then I was like, let's go all in and let's go completely raw and eat completely raw foods and only eat cucumbers and fruit and things like that. And all of those diets combined did not last more than a week for me. And while I was researching all of these different diets to lose this weight, what kept popping up for me was keto, keto, keto. And I was like, like, let's see what this is really about, because I literally could not get away from it. So I looked more into it, and it intrigued me a little bit. And I did a little bit more research, and it really, really piqued my interest. Like, I was completely invested in giving this diet my all, and I did. And I did it over the summer while I was working so much. I was working 2 different jobs, and combined I was working close to 60 hours. and I was getting like 4 to 5 hours of sleep every night. So like I wasn't getting much sleep. I was working a ton of hours, and I was like walking and catching the bus like between the jobs too, cause car issues, you know what I mean? And it was just a bad situation. So my body was just under a lot of stress, but I ended up losing the weight. And so I made it back to my second semester of college, and I was moving into my apartment for the first time, and I was feeling so good. Like I was feeling like this is my season 2, like back and better than ever. Ooh, yeah, we don't want to see that. But back, oh, okay. Oh man. Okay. But yeah, I was feeling good. I was feeling like this is my season 2. Um, that's where like I felt like I dropped the weight that I had gained, and I felt good. You know what I mean? Like me and my friends, we would go to different events, and just take pictures and get dressed and stuff like that. So I felt really comfortable with where I was in my, fitness journey, and I felt like I had figured it out because keto worked so fast, the ketogenic diet. I was like, this is the key. This is the miracle. This is the thing that I've been missing. And I felt like I figured it out. And I was planning on being on keto for the rest of my life, honestly. Sorry. So my camera did end up dying, but yeah, so basically I saw results on keto, and that was all fine and dandy, but we can't talk about keto without talking about a very important moment, which happened a little bit before I got back to my apartment. A little bit before I got back into my apartment. And that was when I broke out into what I like to call the keto rash, but it wasn't really. And over the summer, literally I broke out in this really dark rash. It started out kind of reddish, and then it darkened to a brown color. But it was all over my face, my neck, my chest, my back, everywhere. I went to a dermatologist to get a biopsy and everything. And they said it was this really rare skin condition called pleva. But, and they said they don't really know what causes it. They don't really know what causes it. It might come back in the future. It might not ever come back. And it is potentially hereditary, but it's very minimal research on it, and they never told me exactly really how to go about treating it because they didn't really know. But yeah, they said it was that, which I believe them. I just think also it was probably due to my body being under so much stress because I was doing the ketogenic diet. I was working like 60 hours. I don't know if I mentioned that previously, but I was working 60 hours and I was barely getting any sleep, like 4 to 5 hours a night. Or my body didn't respond well to all of that stress. But it worked, and the rash started to clear up, and like I said, I saw results. Yeah, so I remember when I got back, I was happy with my body, but I wanted a smaller, like a flatter stomach. Like I wanted kind of abs, and I wanted to grow my glutes, and like I wanted to build muscle, but I knew absolutely nothing about muscle building at the time. But yeah, for the most part, I always carried fat, mainly like in my breast tissue, in my butt, my hips and my thighs, and also in my abdomen area too. So with that being said, whenever I leaned out on keto, I mainly had the fat left over in like my breast tissue area and my glute and like my butt area and my thighs and stuff. So I had what looked like more of an hourglass shape, even though I didn't really build any muscle necessarily in those areas at that time. But yeah, that's just, I guess, where I naturally, that's just where I naturally carry fat for the most part. And then I got into my relationship, and that's when I really, really put on a lot of weight. And it wasn't like the freshman 15, like my freshman year I went from like 165 to like 185, but I went back down to like 174 and stayed about that. And then when I got in my relationship, I got as high as 215 pounds. And at this weight, I just did not feel comfortable at all. That's like, oh my gosh. I plan on putting the pictures up there anyways. I just like, for the sake of whatever, I was just kind of showing you along with how I'm talking about it. But yeah, these are just like a couple of pictures of that time period when I was at my heaviest. Like I really carried a lot of weight in my upper and lower body, but mainly where I noticed it was my upper body. Like I felt like most of the tops that I was wearing weren't fitting, and like everything was just a struggle. Like none of my clothes fit. It was just a really hard time for me to deal with. And that's when I was like, okay, let me start strength training. And around that time, I did. And I remember, this is on spring break, and I remember like I was trying to, whenever I got back from spring break, I was trying to go hard on my strength training journey, so that I could see results by the time of my birthday, which is in April. And I didn't really see any significant results. I remember that. And I was graduating soon after that. And I wasn't really seeing any crazy results, but I, for the most part, was sticking to, trying to build muscle and going to the gym consistently. And even though my diet wasn't the best, like I wasn't really trying to diet, I wasn't in a caloric deficit, I was eating like normal. The only difference is I was starting to incorporate more protein in my diet. And then I got to medical school, and then that was a whole different whirlwind of stress, and I was trying to balance studying for medical school, also working out and my nutrition and all of those things. And so I got to a point to where I was eating very, very little, like way too little. I was trying to eat as much protein as I could, but it was definitely not enough, and it wasn't enough calories in general to sustain my everyday life. But I guess I saw the results physically that I wanted around that time. And that was like around this era. Oops, backwards. Because I remember like taking those pictures and I felt good, but I just remember I felt really weak, and I felt like I had no energy, and I felt like I couldn't continue to see growth in that state for a significant amount of time longer, because I just felt so weak. And but I was training like 3 to 4 times a week, but I was eating just way too little. And then I started to eat more, and I was like, okay, let me eat somewhere around like 2,500 calories. And that's when I really started to see a difference in my strength. That's when I really started to see a difference in my upper body. And that's when, honestly, I started to see a difference in my overall body composition from, like, okay, so I first, yeah, I just started to see more definition in my upper body and my lower body. Oops. Sorry, I did not mean to show you that. But yeah, and what I just went to Colorado recently with my best friend, and we took a ton of pictures. And like, here's one of the pictures that we took like at the pool, and like, I see a big change in where my body was and where it is now, and I'm eating, which is so great. And like, I'm eating enough to sustain my everyday life and my workouts, and I still feel strong and I have energy throughout my workouts. And so I'm really happy with where I'm at, and I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my fitness journey, and hopefully I can share a little bit more with you in the future. But yeah, that's where I'm at today. So now I'm just trying to find a little bit more of a balanced routine. And I'm also trying to meal prep and, yeah, just be more proactive in my fitness journey overall. And yeah, I just was hoping to document that. And I want to continue to document it and share my journey and take what I can from you guys if there's any advice or any tips that y'all have to share. And I plan to give as much information that I can and the things that I learned along my way. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.